All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bear Sheath Farm with your host, Levi Kahn. Tonight, we're reading Numbers chapters 27 to 31. So, we're getting close to the end here of Numbers. I need to get this. Okay, got that. And what we can do here. That being said, folks, let's go ahead and get this moving, shall we? We'll read Numbers chapter 27 here. Then came the daughters of Zelophehad, the son of Hepher, the son of Gilead, the son of Machir, the son of Manasseh, of the families of Manasseh, the son of Joseph. And these are the names of his daughters: Mela, Noah, and Hoglah, and Milcah, and Tirzah. Welcome and shalom. Before I go on to verse 2, welcome and shalom to my moderator that I haven't seen in quite a while, Nicole. All right, verse 2. And they stood before Moses and before Eleazar the priest and before the princes and all the congregation by the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, saying, Our father died in the wilderness, and he was not in the company of them that gathered themselves together against the Lord in the company of Korah, but died in his own sin and no sons. And had no sons. Why should the name of our father be taken away from among his family, because he hath no son? Give unto us therefore a possession among the brethren of our father. And Moses brought their cause before the Lord. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, The daughters of Zelophehad speak right. Thou shalt surely give them a possession of an inheritance among their father's brethren, and thou shalt cause the inheritance of their fathers to pass unto them. And thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel, saying, If a man die and have no son, then ye shall cause his inheritance to pass unto his daughter. And if he have no daughter, then ye shall give his inheritance unto his brethren. And if he have no brethren, then ye shall give his inheritance unto his father's brethren. And if his father have no brethren, then ye shall give his inheritance unto his kinsman that is next to him of his family, and he shall possess it. And it shall be unto the children of Israel a statute of judgment, as the Lord commanded Moses. Okay, before we go on to verse 12, these things did happen. Give you an example. When we get to the scroll of Ruth, or in English it's Ruth, Boaz dealt with that. Okay, one of the many fathers of King David. All right, verse 12. And the Lord said unto Moses, Get thee up into this Mount Abarim, and see the land which I have given unto the children of Israel. And when thou hast seen it, thou also shalt be gathered unto thy people, as Aaron thy brother was gathered. For ye rebelled against my commandment in the desert of Zin, in the strife of the congregation, to sanctify me at the water before their eyes. That is the water of Meribah in Kadesh, in the wilderness of Zin. And Moses spake unto the Lord, saying, Let the Lord, the God of the spirits of all flesh, set a man over the congregation, which may go up before them, and which may go in before them, and which may lead them out, and which may bring them in, that the congregation of the Lord be not as sheep which have no shepherd. Yeshua brought that up later, didn't he? Verse 18, And the Lord said unto Moses, Take thee Joshua the son of Nun, a man in whom is the Spirit, and lay thine hand upon him, and set him before Eleazar the priest, and before all the congregation, and give him a charge in their sight. And thou shalt put some of thine honor upon him, that all the congregation of the children of Israel may be obedient. And he shall stand before Eleazar the priest, who shall ask counsel for him after the judgment of Urim before the Lord. At his word shall they go out, and at his word they shall come in, both he and all the children of Israel with him, even all the congregation. And Moses did as the Lord commanded him, and he took Joshua and set him before Eleazar the priest and before all the congregation. And he laid his hands upon him and gave him a charge, as the Lord commanded, by the hand of Moses. Welcome and shalom. And that's all 23 verses of Numbers chapter 27. Welcome and shalom to Wilfred Witzke. All right. chapter 28. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Command the children of Israel, and say unto them, My offering and my bread for my sacrifices made by fire for sweet savour unto me shall ye observe to offer unto me in their due season. And thou shalt say unto them, This is the offering made by fire which ye shall offer unto the Lord, 2 lambs of the first year without a spot, day by day, for a continual burnt offering. The one lamb shalt thou offer in the morning, and the other lamb shalt thou offer at even. And a 10th part of an ephah of flour for a meat offering, mingle with the 4th part of an hin of beaten oil. It is a continual burnt offering which was ordained in Mount Sinai for a sweet savor, a sacrifice made by fire unto the Lord. And the drink offering thereof shall be the 4th part of an hin for the one lamb. In the holy place shalt thou cause the strong wine to be poured unto the Lord for a drink offering. And the other lamb shalt thou offer it even as the meat offering of the morning, and as the drink offering thereof thou shalt offer it, a sacrifice made by fire of a sweet savor unto the Lord. And on the Sabbath day 2 lambs of the first year without spot, and 2/10 deals of flour for a meat offering, mingled with oil, and the drink offering thereof. This is the burnt offering of every Sabbath, beside the continual burnt offering and his drink offering. See, again, we're getting into, before we go on to verse 11, we're getting to how precise and how unblemished, how perfect Yud-Heh-Vav-Heh wanted these offerings to be, folks. He didn't want second hand-me-downs. So, and this has been going all through the Torah that I've been reading, and I know many of you others have read. Verse 11. And in the beginnings of your months ye shall offer a burnt offering unto the Lord, 2 young bullocks, and 1 ram, 7 lambs of the first year without spot, and 3/10 deals of flour for a meat offering mingled with oil for 1 bullock, and 2/10 deals of flour for a meat offering mingled with oil for 1 ram. And a several 10th deal of flour mingled with oil for a meat offering unto 1 lamb for a burnt offering of a sweet savor, a sacrifice made by fire unto the Lord. And the drink offerings shall be in half an hin of wine unto a bullock, and the 3rd part of an hin unto a ram, and the 4th part of an hin unto a lamb. This is the burnt offering of every month throughout the months of the year. And 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering unto the Lord shall be offered, beside the continual burnt offering and his drink offering. And in the 14th day of the 1st month is the Passover of the Lord. Yes, Pesach. And in the 15th day of this month is the feast. 7 days shall unleavened bread be eaten. And the first day shall be in holy convocation. You shall do no manner of servile work therein, but you shall offer a sacrifice made by fire for a burnt offering unto the Lord, 2 young bullocks and 1 ram, and 7 lambs of the first year. They shall be unto you without blemish. And their meat offerings, and their meat offering shall be of flour mingled with oil. 3/10 deals shall ye offer for a bullock, and 2/10 deals for a ram. And several 10th deal shalt thou offer for every lamb throughout the 7 lambs, and 1 goat for a sin offering to make an atonement for you. You shall offer these beside the burnt offering in the morning, which is for a continual burnt offering. After this manner ye shall offer daily throughout the 7 days the meat of the sacrifice made by fire of a sweet savor unto the Lord. It shall be offered beside the continual burnt offering and his drink offering. And on the 7th day you shall have an holy convocation. You shall do no servile work. Also in the day of the first fruits, when ye bring a new meat offering unto the Lord, after your weeks, your weeks be out, ye shall have an holy convocation. You shall do no servile work, but you shall offer the burnt offering for a sweet savor unto the Lord, 2 young bullocks, 1 ram, 7 lambs of the first year, and their meat offering of flour mingled with oil, 3/10 deals unto 1 bullock, 2/10 deals unto 1 ram, a several 10th deal unto 1 lamb throughout the 7 lambs, and 1 kid of the goats to make an atonement for you. You shall offer them beside the continual burnt offering and his meat offering. They shall be unto you without blemish. and their drink offerings. It's all 31 verses of Numbers chapter 28. We take a drink here. All right, let's keep this rocking. Chapter 29. And in the 7th month, on the first day of the month, you shall have an holy convocation. You shall do no servile work. It is a day of blowing the trumpets unto you, and you shall offer a burnt offering for a sweet savor unto the Lord, 1 young bullock, 1 ram, and 7 lambs of the first year without blemish. And their meat offering shall be of flour mingled with oil, 3/10 deals for a bullock, and 2/10 deals for a ram, and 1/10 deal for 1 lamb throughout the 7 lambs, and 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering to make an atonement for you. Beside the burnt offering of the month, and his meat offering, and the daily burnt offering, and his meat offering, and their drink offerings, according unto their manner, for a sweet savor, a sacrifice made by fire unto the Lord. And you shall have on the 10th day of the 7th month an holy convocation, and you shall afflict your souls. You shall not do any work therein, but you shall offer a burnt offering unto the Lord for a sweet savor, 1 young bullock, 1 ram, and 7 lambs of the first year. They shall be unto you without blemish. And their meat offering shall be of flour mingled with oil, 3/10 deals to a bullock, and 2/10 deals to 1 ram, a several tenth deal for 1 lamb throughout the 7 lambs. 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering, beside the sin offering of atonement, and the continual burnt offering, and the meat offering of it, and their drink offerings. And on the 15th day of the 7th month, you shall have an holy convocation. You shall do no servile work, and you shall keep a feast unto the Lord 7 days. And you shall offer a burnt offering, a sacrifice made by fire, for a sweet savor unto the Lord, 13 young bullocks, 2 rams, and 14 lambs of the first year. They shall be without blemish. And their meat offering shall be of flour mingled with oil, 3/10 deals unto every bullock of the 13 bullocks, 2/10 deals to each ram of the 2 rams, and a several tenth deal to each lamb of the 14 lambs, and 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering, beside the continual burnt offering, his meat offering, and his drink offering. And on the 2nd day you shall offer 12 young bullocks, 2 rams, 14 lambs of the first year without spot, and their meat offering and their drink offerings for the bullocks, for the rams, and for the lambs shall be according to their number after the manner. And 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering, beside the continual burnt offering, and the meat offering thereof, and their drink offerings. And on the 3rd day, 11 bullocks, 2 rams, 14 lambs of the first year without blemish, and their meat offering and their drink offerings for the bullocks, for the rams, and for the lambs shall be according to their number after the manner. And 1 goat for a sin offering, beside the continual burnt offering, and his meat offering, and his drink offering. And on the 4th day, 10 bullocks, 2 rams, and 14 lambs of the first year without blemish. Before we go on to verse 24, welcome and shalom to Gangster Talks. Gangster, if you can do me a favor, tell me what time tomorrow I'm supposed to come onto your panel. I believe tomorrow is the day. I just don't remember what time, so I can, adjust my schedule with the homestead here. If you could do that for me, that'd be great. All right, verse 24. Their meat offering and their drink offerings for the bullocks, for the rams, and for the lambs shall be according to their number after the manner. And 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering, beside the continual burnt offering, his meat offering, and his drink offering. And on the 5th day, 9 bullocks, 2 rams, and 14 lambs of the first year without spot. And their meat offering and their drink offerings for the bullocks, for the rams, and for the lambs shall be according to their number after the manner. And 1 goat for a sin offering, beside the continual burnt offering, and his meat offering, and his drink offering. And on the 6th day, 8 bullocks, 2 rams, and 14 lambs of the first year without blemish. And their meat offering and their drink offerings for the bullocks, for the rams, and for the lambs shall be according to their number after the manner. And 1 goat for a sin offering, beside the continual burnt offering, his meat offering, and his drink offering. And on the 7th day, 7 bullocks, 2 rams, and 14 lambs of the first year without blemish. and their meat offering and their drink offerings for the bullocks, for the rams, and for the lambs shall be according to their number after the manner. And one goat for a sin offering, beside the continual burnt offering, his meat offering, and his drink offering. On the 8th day you shall have a solemn assembly, you shall do no servile work therein. See, again, we're getting into the 8th day. It's very symbolic and literal, really. There's not really anything allegorical about it that I can see. The 8th day, the new beginning, the new Genesis, new Bereshith, for those of us who endure, ladies and gentlemen, for eternity. Anyway, verse 36. But ye shall offer a burnt offering, a sacrifice made by fire, of a sweet savor unto the Lord, 1 bullock, 1 ram, 7 lambs of the first year without blemish. Their meat offering and their drink offerings for the bullock, for the ram, and for the lambs shall be according to their number, after the manner. And 1 goat for a sin offering, beside the continual burnt offering, and his meat offering, and his drink offering. These things ye shall do unto the Lord in your set feasts, beside your vows and your freewill offerings, for your burnt offerings, and for your meat offerings, and for your drink offerings, and for your peace offerings. And Moses told the children of Israel, according to all that the Lord commanded Moses. It's all 40 verses of Numbers chapter 29. We have 2 more chapters, folks, and I can shoot the breeze, tell you what's going on. Anyway, a short chapter, then a longer one. So, let's keep this moving. Numbers chapter 30. And Moses spake unto the heads of the tribes concerning the children of Israel, saying, This is the thing which the Lord hath commanded. If a man vow a vow unto the Lord, or swear an oath, to bind his soul with a bond, he shall not break his word, he shall do according to all that proceedeth out of his mouth. If a woman also vow a vow unto the Lord, and bind herself by a bond, being in her father's house in her youth, and her father hear her vow, and her bond wherewith she hath bound her soul, and her father shall hold his peace at her, then all her vows shall stand, and every bond wherewith she hath bound her soul shall stand. But if her father disallow her in the day that he heareth not any of her vows or of her bonds wherewith she hath bound her soul shall stand, and the Lord shall forgive her, because her father disallowed her. And if she had it all, and husband, when she vowed or uttered aught out of her lips, wherewith she bound her soul, and her husband heard it, and held his peace at her in the day that he heard it, then her vow shall stand, and her bonds wherewith she bound her soul shall stand. But if her husband disallowed her on the day that he heard it, then he shall make her vow which she vowed, and that which she uttered with her lips, wherewith she bound her soul, of none effect, and the Lord shall forgive her. But if every vow of a widow and of her that is divorced, wherewith they have bound their souls, shall stand against her, and if she vowed in her husband's house, or bound her soul by a bond with an oath, and her husband heard it, and held his peace at her, and disallowed her not, then all her vows shall stand, and every bond wherewith she bound her soul shall stand. But if her husband hath utterly made them void on the day he heard them, then whatsoever proceeded out of her lips concerning her vows, or concerning the bond of her soul, shall not stand. Her husband hath made them void, and the Lord shall forgive her. Every vow and every binding oath to afflict the soul, her husband may establish it, or her husband may make it void. But if her husband altogether hold his peace at her from day to day, then he establisheth all her vows or all her bonds which are upon her. He confirmeth them, because he held his peace at her in the day that he heard them. But if he shall anyways make them void after that he hath heard them, then he shall bear her iniquity. These are the statutes which the Lord commanded Moses between a man and his wife, between the father and his daughter, being yet in her youth in her father's house. All right, that's all 16 verses, Numbers chapter 30. I'm going to look at the chat. Okay, that's a good question, and that varies. All right. If she's under her father's care, I don't care if she's 5 years old or she's 85. She's under his roof, his care, protection, hence her. She's under his care and protection, hence his authority. Now, back in the days before Yeshua came down in the flesh, during the days of Yeshua in the flesh, it was common to bar mitzvah a guy or bat mitzvah a girl and make a boy or a girl, a man or a woman into that, into a man or a woman when they were 12. That was pretty common. Later down the road since, and I don't know why, I guess it's not against scripture, but a lot of them say 13 years old. I've been to several bar and bat mitzvahs watching children. Now, keep in mind, this has all been in the United States. They can't just go by that. Okay, we're not allowed. Like when the Israelites were under Rome during Yeshua's and Apostle Paul's time in that. So you have to use the best discretion that you can. I remember two girls in particular at the first Messianic congregation I was a part of. And they seemed pretty mature for American girls. But you don't put them out and marry them off and stuff like they did back in, the times that I'm talking about now, that I'm reading about. Now, there can be discretion. There was discretion, and I'm talking information outside of the canon, of course. If the Levitical priest and whatever look at a boy or a girl, and they're 12, 13 years old, and they didn't seem ready, maturity-wise, and whatever else may have been going on, they could hold it off. One of my congregational leaders even told me that. He said, look, I waited with one boy, male, until he was 17. And I was reluctant to do it then, but I did it. There was a girl he held off until she was 16, and he felt a little more comfortable with that. But she was not ready at 13 years old. This was in the state of Ohio, just so you know. That's the best I can do for you, Nicole. All right, let's do all 54 verses of chapter 31. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Avenge the children of Israel of the Midianites. Afterward shalt thou be gathered unto thy people. And Moses spake unto the people, saying, Arm some of yourselves unto the war, and let them go against the Midianites, and avenge the Lord of Midian. Of every tribe 1,000 throughout all the tribes of Israel shall ye send to the war. So there were delivered out of the thousands of Israel 1,000 of every tribe, 12,000 armed for war. And Moses sent them to the war, 1,000 of every tribe, them and Phinehas, the son of Eleazar the priest, to the war with the holy instruments and the trumpets to blow in his hand. And they warred against the Midianites as the Lord commanded Moses, and they slew all the males. And they slew the kings of Midian, beside the rest of them that were slain, namely Evi and Rechem and Zur and Hur and Reba, 5 kings of Midian. Baalam, also the son of Beor, they slew with the sword. Now we're talking Baalam, we're not talking that prophet yet. That's after the Torah. Because the Baalam we were reading about last night, he's the son of Zippor. Okay, 2 different guys. Anyway, verse 9. And the children of Israel took all the women of Midian captives and their little ones, and took the spoil of all their cattle and all their flocks and all their goods. And they burnt all their cities wherein they dwelt, and all their goodly castles with fire. And they took all the spoil and all the prey, both of men and of beasts. And they brought the captives and the prey and the spoil unto Moses and Eleazar the priest, and unto the congregation of the children of Israel, unto the camp at the plains of Moab, which are by Jordan near Jericho. And Moses and Eleazar the priest and all the princes of the congregation went forth to meet them without the camp. And Moses was wroth with the officers of the host, with the captains over thousands and captains over hundreds, which came from the battle. And Moses said unto them, Have ye saved all the women alive? Behold, these caused the children of Israel through the counsel of Baalim to commit trespass against the Lord in the matter of Peor, and there was a plague among the congregation of the Lord. Now therefore kill every male among the little ones, and kill every woman that hath known man by lying with him. But all the women, children that have not known a man by lying with him, keep alive for yourselves. And do ye abide without the camp 7 days. Whosoever hath killed any person, and whosoever hath touched any slain, purify both yourselves and your captives on the 3rd day and on the 7th day. Then purify all your raiment, and all that is made of skins, and all work of goat's hair, and all things made of wood. And Eleazar the priest said unto the men of war which went to the battle, This is the ordinance of the law which the Lord commanded Moses. Just before I go on to verse 22, I keep emphasizing how it is the law of Moses on the surface. But how many verses I've already read to you people? You know, the Lord, yet he blessed be his name, commanded Moshe. It's really the instructions of Elohim. So, am I in verse 21? Yeah, I think I am. Welcome and shalom to Texas. All right. I think I'm on verse 21. Anyway. And Eleazar the priest said unto the men of war which went to the battle, This is the ordinance of the law which the Lord commanded Moses. I just read that twice. I think, oh well. Verse 22, Only the gold and the silver, the brass, the iron, the tin, and the lead, everything that may abide the fire, ye shall make it go through the fire, and it shall be clean. Nevertheless, it shall be purified with the water of separation, and all that abideth not the fire ye shall make go through the water, and ye shall wash your clothes on the 7th day, and ye shall be clean, and afterward ye shall come into the camp. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Take the sum of the prey that was taken, both of man and of beast, thou and Eleazar the priest, and the chief fathers of the congregation, and divide the prey into 2 parts, between them that took the war upon them, who went out to battle, and between all the congregation. All right, I'm halfway through this chapter. Let me take a drink here. Okay, verse 28. And levy a tribute unto the Lord of the men of war, which went out to battle, 1 soul of 500, both of the persons and of the beeves, and of the asses, and of the sheep. Take it of their half, and give it unto Eleazar the priest, for an heave offering of the Lord, and of the children of Israel's half. Thou shalt take 1 portion of 50 of the persons of the beeves, of the asses, and of the flocks, of all manner of beasts, and give them unto the Levites, which keep the charge of the tabernacle of the Lord. And Moses and Eleazar the priest did as the Lord commanded Moses. And the booty, being the rest of the prey which the men of war had caught, was 600,000 and 70,000 and 5,000 sheep, and 62,000 beasts, which is 72,000 in today's terms. Verse 34, and 61,000 asses, which is 61,000, and 32,000 persons in all of women that had not known man by lying with him. And the half, which was the portion of them that went out to war, was in number 300,000 and 730,500 sheep. And the Lord's tribute of the sheep was 615. Well, that's 675, I believe. Verse 38. And the beeves were 36,000, of which the Lord's tribute was 312. Okay, that's 72. And the asses were 30,500, of which the Lord's tribute was 301. All right, in today's terms, that's 61. Verse 40, and the persons were 16,000, of which the Lord's tribute was 32 persons. And Moses gave the tribute, which was the Lord's heave offering, unto Eleazar the priest, as the Lord commanded Moses. And of the children of Israel's half, which Moses divided from the men that warred, now the half that pertained unto the congregation was 300,000, and 30,000, and 7,500 sheep, and 36,000 beeves, and 30,000 asses, and 500, and 16,000 persons. Even of the children of Israel's half, Moses took one portion of 50, both of man and of beast, and gave them unto the Levites, which kept the charge of the tabernacle of the Lord, as the Lord commanded Moses. And the officers which were over thousands of the host, the captains of thousands and captains of hundreds, came near unto Moses. And they said unto Moses, Thy servants have taken the sum of the men of war which are under our charge, and lacketh not one man of us. We have therefore brought an oblation for the Lord, what every man hath gotten of jewels of gold, chains and bracelets, rings, earrings, and tablets, to make an atonement for our souls before the Lord. And Moses and Eleazar the priest took the gold of them, even all wrought jewels, and all the gold of the offering that they offered up to the Lord, of the captains of thousands and of the captains of hundreds, was 16,750 shekels. For the men of war had taken spoil, every man for himself. And Moses and Eleazar the priest took the gold of the captains of thousands and of hundreds, and brought it into the tabernacle of the congregation for a memorial for the children of Israel before the Lord. And that's all 54 verses of Numbers chapter 31. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome and shalom to Carolyn Gannon. Glad you're here. Got two of my veteran moderators here, Nicole CB and Carolyn Gannon. Alrighty. All right, we're down to 5 chapters left. Hopefully, God willing, I can read those for you tomorrow. A couple days ago, I didn't get around to it. We had internet problems and that. We had internet. We were without internet yesterday, for that matter, for over 7 hours. And but it came back on, and I was able to do the reading yesterday, as you know. For those of you who made it. Oh, what are you going to do? Anyway, that being said, I don't really know. Just kind of looking around here. There's so many issues I can talk about. I've been continuing on my research about my Jewish counterparts that are, frankly, a bunch of frauds, especially the ultra-Orthodox, very extreme. Okay. So you guys are pretty relaxed in the chat. I'm cool with that. That being said, folks, I don't really, but I'm continuing my research. And that being said, really have a lot to say. I mean, we had a busy day today. It was our one time a month, because we usually go out around approximately twice a month, one for grocery shopping and one for supplies. Today was supplies. Got a bunch of, what we buy, 5 bags of chicken crumble feed, and 3 bales of fresh shavings, that when I have to clean out and scrape out the coops and stuff. That being said, I don't really... Prowler poison bars, even though that one quail pen that has chickens in it. We have it a lot more secure, but I still feel safer with those big bad rats. To be able to put poison bars on the ground there underneath it, and so got one of those buckets and that. But Rural King was pretty helpful to me today. I will say that. I don't. In fact, there was one bag that was partly open that Deborah Heber Faith, my wife, noticed. Oh, hey, welcome and shalom to Craig Hayden. I did that, and Deb noticed it, so I brought it back in the store, and they were very helpful. They let us keep it, except for they gave us 50% back. I thought that was a good, because we really didn't lose that much. We surely didn't lose even close to probably 1/8 of it, much less 1/2. I was glad for that. We were in Walmart for a little bit, and of course, you know, with their new cameras that they have that I've talked about in other live streams, I was able to put up my fist with, well, I won't do it on screen. I had a wonderful way for them with my middle finger. I don't think Deb noticed it. I don't know if she did or not. Maybe, because she didn't holler at me this time. Anyway, I was getting frustrated. We were looking for something, and I hate being out there. I just can't. Oh, you did notice. Okay. Well, I should have kept doing it. Anyway.
I told you to stop.
Oh, did you? I didn't even hear that. I guess I guess you did tell me to stop. Who am I to argue? You probably did. But
Oh, you're going blind, but you're going deaf.
what? Say that again? Yeah. And of course we got dog food from another feed store, and that we love that value pack. BALU dash PAK, that value pack that they make in Tennessee.
Yeah, the prices went up.
Yeah, it did go up a little bit. Well, you know, Trump's not fixing much of anything. What can I say? Yeah, I am. I'm pretty dull there, Wilfred. Deb can validate that. She knows how slow of a guy I can be up here, you know, and she has to kind of guide me slowly and gently, and I'm happy for that. Anyway, I'm just too simple to even question it. But anyway, of course, I'm still researching other things, not just. I'm not just researching the ultra orthodox, the very extreme people. Here's what I'm going to do, and hopefully, I don't promise, but hopefully, I can do this tomorrow too. You never know if I do a separate video, which I need to. I'm going to go against any orthodox with scripture, and I'll leave it at that. And I may or may not have time to do the reading then. I don't know. That one's really easy for me because, you know, even the ultra orthodox, even though they make other average Orthodox Jews look really bad, they all have a lot in common. Some things they're just the same in some areas, and I need to put that out there. And again, I'm still struggling with what I can put out on YouTube. They're less restrictive, less censored than they used to be for now, but there are limits. And anyway, but other research that I've done, continue to do, you know, watching Dr. Fauci, I don't at all depend or count on that he's going to be in a jail cell at all. I don't see it happening. Here's the stupid thing about it. You know, I mean, blatantly, his journals. You people know, at least a lot of you do, that I journal. I do it on, you know, I use pen and paper. I just, these idiots. They use technology, and I'm not saying you shouldn't. I mean, you can keep a pretty safe journal, but this guy's so into himself and such a psychopath, and I didn't even know that. Is that true? Or are you just being sarcastic, Wilfred? I don't know. But to plead the fifth 111 times, I'm just going to believe the numbers. I watched clips and stuff like that with different senators that were really, that one guy used the 4-letter F word on him. And he's older than Biden is, but he's a lot more lucid. He doesn't have any Alzheimer's or senile dementia, that's going on with old Joey. So he's a lot more responsible. And I always think he was more intelligent than Joe ever was, even back when he was lucid. So, but I just don't see justice being served in this lifetime. But evidently, and I remember hearing about this, and I was refreshed. He had, when he actually, I guess he took the shots, folks. And I already know this stuff because I used to be medical, and I do my research besides, as well as that I was that I did actually get fairly educated in it back in the dinosaur age. But he had an arterial embolism, and I'll just read it to you. It's a sudden blockage of blood flow in an artery caused by a traveling blood clot or plague, most frequently affecting the limbs, brain, or heart. Because this cuts off vital oxygen, it is a critical medical emergency that can lead to permanent tissue death or organ failure. Okay. Which I already knew that. I'd learned that way back in the day. And he had another embolism called infarct, and they're very similar. Infarct embolism. And I know what that is too. It's just ridiculous. I can't believe he's made it to 85 years old. An embolism, often a blood clot, blocks a blood vessel, which can cause an infarction. Okay, now when they're saying that, they probably should put in, but AI can be kind of ridiculous here and leave out technical or detail. Myocardial infarction is the medical way of saying heart attack. Here it just reads infarction. And tissue of death, the blood flow stops completely when this happens in the lungs, and it does happen in the lungs too. It is called a pulmonary embolism with pulmonary infarction. You can learn more about these urgent signs on Cleveland Clinic Pulmonary Embolism Guide. Okay, now I'm giving you all this because, here's the thing. This can lead to a heart attack, to put it simply. To a lot of people, it did. And a lot of people are no longer with us. Some people, maybe they had better genetics, and they're still around with us, and they're on their 14th, 15th, 16th shot. I'm not sure. But he did get himself treated. He was having problems, obviously. And he got it done in secret. And these fools, they are fools, folks. I'm not saying this without a cause here. They're so arrogant, and they think they're beyond reproach. And really they are. Trump did it. Trump and his the acting DOJ director, Todd Blanche, and the FBI director, Kash Patel. I mean, they don't have the sack. Let's just be honest. That Merrick Brian Garland and Christopher Asher Ray had. They just don't. Yes, they're making more arrests, real rightful arrests, but they're people we've never heard of. At least when I read the names, I'm like, well, who's that? You've heard me say this. I'm kind of being a broken record, but and they're not just breaking into people's homes like that. And, But I just, look, all these people, the people I mentioned from my home state, Minnesota, maybe Deb, you might want to shut off that water to the washing machine, please, so I can keep. Thank you, appreciate it. Toda Rabba. Toda Rabba in Hebrew. Thanks very much. Anyway, all the people in my home state, Minnesota, from the governor on down to a mayor, you're still walking free, despite the hardcore concrete evidence. And Trump is becoming a little b-boy more and more as the days continue, and a bootlickered little BB boy. And it's just the way it is. And he's getting more, rather than drain the swamp, he's becoming more a part of it. He's kind of an outsider despite being a double-term president. And he's getting more in with them and kind of going with the flow. And it's affecting all of us. What? Hold on, I'm looking at the chat. I don't know. I don't know what you're referring to. Wilfred, I'd have to look up and figure it out, or maybe you can just specify it there, Wilfred. But anyway, that being said, I don't really put any hope in it. I just have to reassure myself, console myself that Yeshua is going to deal with this one day down the road. I mean, what else can you do? Don't get me wrong, I'm a sinner. I've done many evil things in my life, but I repented. And I mean, I've even had to have been worked on in the last few years of my arrogant attitude. And I'm not saying I'm perfect at it yet. I'm not complete, but I'm getting there. Anyway, well, he may have. I think I'm not saying he's never with the insiders. I just don't think he was the insider that the Bushes always were. I'm not sure he's on that level now. I don't know. Maybe he is, but the Cheneys, the Quayles, the much less the Rothschilds, Rockefellers, etc. I don't think he's ever. I don't think he hobnobbed with them at millionaire and billionaire parties. Duh. I mean, I get that, but Trump, I think, is compared to some of them, been an outsider, and that's just, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. And I think he got a hard lesson getting cheated out of office and getting chased around for 4 years for stuff that he didn't do and that. But, anyway, I'm not there. Okay, I'm not in the White House. Not on the phone with Trump. I haven't been lately. And last time I was on the 12th of never. So I don't know. I don't know, Nicole. I have no clue on that. It is. It's a dog and pony shit show, let's be honest. But anyway, I'm kind of going on a rant. And I'm looking into a lot of it. At least I believe Fauci will go down in history finally, because I think his time is limited. After all, he's 85% of the way to 100 years old. He is a man of strength, according to Psalm 90. Whether he, evil or not, that's just a fact and truth, according to the scriptures. But I think his time is limited. He'll go down in history as, for what he is. So that being said, at least, I mean, what he's done. There was a great surgeon in the 1980s, in this, approximately 40 years ago. You remember, those of you who are old enough, like I am, to remember AIDS, okay? And the way they were trying to treat it. This brilliant surgeon. I don't know if he was a neurosurgeon, though. He was a well-respected surgeon of whatever sort, and he went against Fauci back then in his 40s, or Fauci was, and Fauci ruined him, man. And wasn't it later after that, with the Beagle dogs and the crap he was pulling? Yeah, I'm in agreement with that, Hoss. I can't really argue that. But that being said, he's got such a long history and it's been covered up. And then these people make out these diaries. Look, don't get me wrong. If we're here long enough and I kick the bucket, or if I'm too old and decrepit to give a hoot later down the road, I'll probably put out my diaries, or I'll donate them, or try, go to a university or a museum and see what they want to do with them, if anything. But, if I don't want you reading them right now, which I don't, the best way I can think of is, well, one, not keep a diary, but if you're going to write, best way is on pen and paper. So, these guys, some of these guys have it down really well. I'll actually brag him up a little bit. I watch his stuff sometimes, and he's on many sites, and I don't know what his beliefs are spiritually or anything, but this guy's a computer geek. He keeps journals. Okay. But if you want to know how to keep a private journal online, this is the guy to go to. Now, he doesn't do YouTube that often anymore. I'll go ahead and put him up there. But if you want good advice on how to be a techno geek and keep your stuff private, he's probably the man to go to. But even then, some other computer geek can probably get it if he wants. That journaling guy. There you go. Don't come to me to try and get privacy on the internet. I have no clue. Or a good point, Wilfred. The Father has a diary of everyone. So, let me get rid of that. I just don't recommend it. And that's scriptural, what Wilfred just brought up. Yeah, he pled the fifth 111 times, according to many videos and that. And I Googled it up. I'm not going to watch the whole dumb thing. I think Rand Paul did a fairly good job with him. Rand Paul of Kentucky isn't just a senator. He's also a medical doctor. So Fauci isn't really going to get crap over him, that I can tell. I'm not saying I agree with Paul Rand on everything. I don't. But he's probably the most qualified to question them. And that being said, at least they're getting them out there. It's kind of like the late Bill Janklow, who's a former attorney general of South Dakota, a former governor of South Dakota, a former congressman of South Dakota. He's gone now. His legacy finally came out when he, sadly, at the expense of a man named Randy Scott. When was that? 03? I'd have to look it up on Google, but I was living in Sioux Falls at that time. It had to be 2003, I'm guessing. Anyway, he went through a stop sign at 78 miles per hour when he was a congressman, and he slammed into Randy Scott's motorcycle and ended up, I guess Randy flew many feet. More than likely was probably dead before he hit the field. Some agricultural cornfield or whatever it was, and I remember that. They interviewed me on TV over that. I happened to be sitting at the Empire Mall that day, and they gave me more time than anyone. And I had plenty to say, but a lot younger back then. I was 34. Oh, man, those are the days. But his legacy went down as crap. And he didn't really get much justice. I mean, he got 100 days in jail, 3 years of probation. He didn't even start his 100 days that day. He got time to go out and get his ducks in a row, get things in order, then go to jail. And he complained about it then, that he should be able to wear normal clothes. He was just a jackweasel. I could really get into Bill Janklow because I've done a lot of research on him in the past, but at least And he did his 3 years, 100 days in jail. Eventually he did his 3 years probation, and he worked as an attorney until he died of some type of lung cancer or whatever. But that being said, folks, at least he went down. Okay. His political career was done. And praise the Lord for that. Now, does it really matter with Fauci? I don't know. If the Lord sees fit, he'll get him in a jail cell somehow. I think that's dubious. I'm not so sure the Lord wills it. I hope he does. That's just my will, Nate, but that being said, I remember even seeing on the live, or not live, I think it was pre-recorded, the TV, one of the local TV stations interviewed me when I was sitting in the food court of the mall, of Empire Mall. And I even told them back then, because Ted Kennedy was still alive as a senator in Massachusetts. And I even said, look, I don't think Ted Kennedy should be a senator, but that's the voters of Massachusetts' choice. So I'm looking into still a lot of things, the no-hide laws, and I just don't know how to bring it out without kicking my own ass on YouTube. I just may say, screw it. You get me in the right mood, and hey, I'm going to put this out. Maybe. I don't know about that. Do you think you could maybe, Craig Hayden, maybe, I like your comment, but do you really think Rand Paul would be able to get past the swamp? Trump can't do it. You got past, one bullet shot by a doofus in Pennsylvania. Let me think of the date. 2024, July, on a Sabbath. From what? Thomas Matthew Crooks. July 13th of 2024 in Butler, Pennsylvania. My photographic memory is coming into play here. And because the next day, Deb and I, when I still had a pickup, we went on Sunday, the phony baloney Sabbath day. We had to do some things, and whereas we were just kicking it, that day that Trump got shot in the ear, and Deb said, "Oh, I think something big just happened," because she was, we were laying in bed just kicking it. That's all we were doing. I'm like, "What?" And she put it back a couple minutes for me, and and then he got hollered at to get down. I'm glad he didn't. I'm glad he didn't get killed in action. But then there's, his own property playing golf. That other guy from Florida in the Mar-a-Lago area. I mean, there must be a reason God's keeping him alive. What it's for, I don't know. Okay, so you were kicking me too. You're kind of abusive with your professional wrestling skills there, honey bun. But no, I don't know. Well, maybe it was acting, but try to substantiate for me, Wilfred. I think some of those guys really wanted to shoot him. I think that kid who's was no professional, because he's not with us anymore, Thomas Matthew Crooks, I really think he was trying to shoot him. I think he was really trying to take Trump out. Yeah, I remember all that. But the next day we had, on the 14th, had to go out and do some things, and we ate at an Old Town Grill. I had a glass of water, a cup, and coffee with my really pretty good hamburger, and a Amber Brock dark beer. So I don't get drunk and do stuff like that. I had one beer, a full meal, and 2 other non-alcoholic drinks with, but anywho, Okay, I'll let you guys hash this out. I'm not going to argue with this. I think a lot of people are MK altered. I'll go along with that much. But anyway, oh, no doubt about it. I guess he used to be some kind of MAGA Republican from what I hear when he was a kid. I mean, he was a kid. He was an adult, but he was kind of a kid when he tried that stunt there, Tex. You know, um, I don't understand it. I'm not a MAGA Republican at all. You all know this. And I just don't. I'm a theocratic monarchist. I have no intention of changing. I just don't. I do not see constitutional republic nor democracy nor whatever democratic socialist any crap. I mean, I see some communal things going on in the Torah and other parts of the Bible. I see an empire or kingdom, call it what you will, because I serve a king. And GOP, why would I even want to be MK altered to them in the first place? They have no sack either. I mean, even if they were to have an order given to the DOJ and FBI from the president and all the Republicans going along with it, and I think most of them would arrest Tony Anthony Fauci. What if some James Jeb Boasberg judge or Paul Azenis or John James McConnell Jr. Write out a mandate? You can't do that. Well, what does Trump do? He cries like a little b-boy to a higher court. Anyway, I just don't have any faith in it, and I console myself with the fact that these people, either one, they're going to get their just due with Elohim, or two, they're going to repent, maybe. Maybe they'll get in salvation. I try to keep that hope. It's very bleak. I don't pretend to be in any delusion about this when you're that far gone. I've been around some of those people on a lower level of politics, and I know what they're about. So, been watching some stuff on Fauci, and he's not happy with the way he was questioned and the way his attorney had to be escorted out. By when Senator Rand finally asked security, please escort this gentleman out of the room, please. So what? My response to that is, so what? That's the same attorney, I think. Who else did he defend? Bob Menendez. Now, Bob Menendez, he must have done something to make his own Democratic Party angry. He was one of the senators of New Jersey, a Democrat, and he's doing a 10-year federal sentence for taking a bribe of gold bars from Egypt, Mitzrayim. Am I right on that? I'm just going off the flip because I'm pretty good at keeping track of this stuff. Anyway, but I'm trying to come up with a video, and maybe I'll just say screw it and take my chances on YouTube. And if they strike me, they strike me. If they don't, they don't. Like I said, I am going to do a general video within the next day or two, provided the internet doesn't go out for too long. And the opposite of scripture, okay? And it doesn't have to be ultra orthodox. It just doesn't. So that being said, and I may give some hints here and there too about the ultra orthodox and Zionists and stuff. What I find really humorous is I've been accused of being that. If you're talking financially, oh man, it's like that would be a pipe dream. I'm as broke as a joke. I'm not any part of them. So anyway, but yeah, Bob Menendez must have done something to make his own party angry, like the former governor of Illinois, Rod Blagojevich, whom Trump commuted at the end of his first term. In the beginning of his second term here, gave him a full pardon. And I think Bob Menendez was guilty. I don't think Blagojevich was. Let's see if we can find something here. Give me a minute. Open up a window. Let's have some fun, ladies and gentlemen. Might as well. Come on, go through. Yeah, I haven't seen these two videos. Anyway, let me get this shared. Ooh. And then I have to use the boys' room. Okay.
You want to see some bold creatives? You want to take
poll in New Hampshire.
New Hampshire is not as conservative as it used to be. There's too many Massachusetts people that move there to get out of taxes. I don't think AOC or Buttigieg could be the now. She might be a vice president.
That sucks.
If you listen to Kamala Harris, as I said earlier, she has a vocabulary of 500 words, and she loops around, and she does have too much to drink socially. And so she's made a fool of herself in her last 2 or 3 public occasions, right?
There are babies that have been born because of my campaigns.
But then if you look at AOC when she went overseas, she can't speak either.
Because what they thought was the final blow is actually just the opening silo.
She's worse. And she doesn't have the excuse of alcohol.
You don't know that for sure.
Kamala's run for president twice. So what people are saying is, I'm not going to give her a third chance. She lost in 2020. She lost in she didn't even get one vote, right, in the primary, and she lost in 2024. I'm not going to give her a third chance.
Don't bet on it.
But then when they look at the alternative, well, I haven't seen Pete Buttigieg lately. Maybe he'll work. Yes, but when you see his new beard and his puff vest going into a cafe, and no one's going to vote for that guy. And AOC again is no.
My sentiments, exactly.
They have people that Andy Bashir or Josh Shapiro that have actually run a state and are coherent. I wouldn't vote for them, but they could win. But they're not going to vote for. They're never going to nominate somebody who's Jewish unless he just confessed that he hated Jews.
Yeah.
You nailed that like a split hole.
All right, let's do the next one. Oh, Chucky Baby, who changes on a whim. Anyway, he used to be Jewish, supposedly, and he's Palestinian now. What do you do? What can you say?
Now, in 2016, Trump sold his false promise to the American people that he would drain the swamp. In 2026, Trump is selling his presidency to the highest bidder. Trump has turned it into the single most profitable scam of his. Please sit down. Please sit down.
Sit your ass down.
What can be more corrupt than that genocide? This is part of the same con with you and Trump playing off of each other. Oh, he's worse. Oh, he's worse. You were put on notice in November of 2023 by the Center for Constitutional Rights and other legal and human rights organizations.
You're batshit crazy.
Notice on potential legal liability for aiding, abetting, inciting, or conspiring to commit genocide for congressional acts and demand. You were put on notice, and you backed it, and you backed the genocide to their hills for years on end. How dare you talk about corruption? How dare you talk about corruption?
how dare you?
Thank you for your diatribe.
Oh,
Now, let's continue. Let's continue and let the people didn't come to hear you.
You should be questioned about your diabolical record. It's amazing that you can show your genocidal face in public, Mr. Senator. Mr. Senator.
Settle down, Beavis.
Shame on public citizens for not allowing questions to this genocidal maniac. Shame, yeah. Corruption. What could be more corrupt than not allowing questions?
Sorry about that. Let's continue with the subject at hand.
Incidentally, you're a disgusting human being.
"100% egg steak makes Arby's cheesesteak 100% delicious."
Hold on here. I'm going to give a trick question. Well, I don't know if it's a trick. It's actually a serious question, but let me get rid of this. My question is this. Who has the higher IQ between Kamila the Diva wannabe Horacio and the pole dancer from the 14th Congressional District, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez? Who has the higher IQ of the two? Seriously, put it down. I mean, put it in the side chat who you think is more intelligent. I've wondered about that for quite a long time. I don't obsess over it. It's not like I think about it a lot, but it does cross my mind every now and then. We have such geniuses on our hands. Makes me feel like Hillbilly Hick. Dollar there, ladies and little gentlemen. You know what I mean? They're mating lassies. That is a very good question. Huh. Anyway, I'm going to continue my research. Hopefully the next 24 to 48 hours or something. And I didn't even have my teeth as an excuse to talk that way this time, where my tongue goes awry on me. What can I say? Okay, so you don't want to try and rate those two? I guess I can't. Better, yeah, to put a third person in there from the 30th Congressional District of Texas. Nasty jizz in her crotch. Oh, but anyway, I'll continue my research, do a video the next day or two, and pit scripture against what my Jewish counterparts try to do, and they're very good at, really, whether they're ultra-Orthodox or no. Look at some of those rabbis, too, and they confirmed it. One guy did, and I look at those guys, and I look at the Levitical tribe, and they had their cans of whoop ass, man. They had their swords, they had their bows and arrows. I mean, they had their martial art moves, and I doubt it was Israeli Krav Maga by any stretch, but I mean, they took people out when Yud Hey commanded through whatever prophet. And then one rabbi who confirmed what I said. I mean, I understand he's an older gentleman. I'm not my prime anymore. I think I'm pretty tough, but for my age and the injuries I've endured, but I try to keep it up a little bit. And these guys are okay. Take care, Hoss. Thanks for stopping by, and thanks for the thumbs up if you gave me one. You know, these people there, not all of them, but a lot of these rabbis, they're fat, they're out of shape, they're disgusting looking, obese, a lot of them, and it's just pathetic. Anyway, look, I appreciate all of you attending this live stream and the Bible reading. I think that's important.
Yeah, Mr. Bud Splatterface.
Yeah, I shoveled out some mud yesterday, and to transfer some trees Deb's been growing inside the house by the windowsill when we had special lighting, and that went out. and I got all this wet mud because we've had so many mud, so much rain, and what happened was when I purposely dropped the bucket, it wasn't even that far. It just into my face, and I had to wash myself off in a restroom, and yeah, she thinks that's funny. I guess it is. I can laugh at myself, but anyway, I do appreciate you folks coming for the live. I do appreciate the live stream. You people attending it and listening to Elohim's Debar, God's word, and stay safe out there, folks. Keep your heads on your swivels. Be aware of things. Take everything into prayer and see what Elohim wants for you in his life. All right. Peace. Shalom, ladies and gentlemen. And until the next time, I'm out of here.